Hey everyone, a huge difference between low elo and high elo is the ability to adapt to different variables that constantly change in League. For example, if the enemy top takes Ignite, you have to play different. If they take Lethal Tempo, you have to adjust to it. So you need to adapt to these things and understand how to play the matchups, and even adjust to how the enemy player is playing. Aggressive, safe, etc. High elo players can take all of these into account, especially when they're smurfing. Today, I'm going to show you what I mean using 2 games from my smurf in low gold, high silver.
Before we get into that though, you've probably wondered to yourself, is skill capped really worth it? Well, let's find out. So what rank were you before you started skill capped?
So I was bronze, but I think I was working my way back down to iron.
May have been high silver, but I think I was gold.
And what's the highest rank that you've achieved so far while using skill capped?
I've got several accounts I've hit gold on.
Diamond 2.
Is there anything skill capped helped you learn that would have taken you longer otherwise?
If I keep track of where that enemy jungler is, he's on the other side of the map, and it looks like he's ganking my bot lane, and I'm on the top side of the map. I can't get there in time, so there's no way I can impact that. I'm going to go seal his topside camps, or I'm going to grab Rift now.
Just lots of ideas like, hey, I'm strong early, I'm Lee Sin, let's analyze all the lane matchups and go to a lane where I have Prio and Invade. That's not something I would be doing on my own every game, but that is something I'm doing because of skill cap.
When I played League before skill capped, I was sort of playing and feeling my way around. And then after coming across skill capped and trying it for a little while, during one of the videos, I think, a sudden click of, hold on a second, this is not just a game of running around and killing people. This is a game about strategy. This is a game about moving the pieces so that the future becomes predictable and then acting on that future.
So what are you waiting for? Get real results at skillcap.com. Link in the description below. Now back to the video.
In this first one, I'm on Sylas vs Yone. Yone brought TP and Lethal Tempo, while I brought Ignite and First Strike as my rune. Lethal Tempo is no joke as a melee champion like Yone, especially with how it synergizes with his Q. Let's see how I play around this. To start things off, as soon as minions meet, I see Yone walking up to the wave. If I walk at him, odds are it will bait him into using Q the moment I'm in range. Since Sylas starts E at level 1, as that gives him the most damage, it also gives me the mobility to dodge Yone Q and trade at the same time. Here's why I have to really respect the Lethal Tempo though. I can't try to trade autos while kiting back or anything like that. I just need to straight up disengage. Yone can easily kill me at level 1. Even without Lethal Tempo, he's an AD champion versus an AP one, so his extended trades are much better. With Lethal Tempo, it makes it even more deadly. If you look at the health difference between us, I won the trade, but not even by that much, even though he didn't land anything, and I disengaged right away. But that's the nature of the matchup, especially with Lethal Tempo involved. After that, pay attention to how I position in the lane. I'm not trying to push for level 2 or anything. Yone has already showed me that he is willing to fight. And if that's the case, I have to concede the push and that's fine. Sometimes though in these elos, you can tell the player isn't doing what they're supposed to. So if this Yone was playing way too far back, not trying to fight me level 1, I could adapt and abuse this to get the level 2 advantage. Also, notice I'm not standing way far back completely out of range. I'm constantly moving in and out trying to bait out Yone's Q. Every time he misses a Q, that's a 4-second window where I can grab a last hit without getting punished too hard. Or I can take that time to look for a quick trade. I use my E and jump in and start running towards my wave. If we pause here, notice as soon as I see Yone is looking to commit to this, I pop my potion. I want him to use Q here as I'm baiting him into my next wave, so I'm preparing for the all-in. But I keep running and Yone uses Q and I dodge the Q. Before we keep going, let's quickly talk about this. You might be wondering how I could dodge this while being this close to him. First off, this has nothing to do with reaction time. I'm not reacting to anything here. If we slow it down, you can see I'm clicking to the side basically right before or right as he's starting the animation. It would be humanly impossible to react that fast. What I'm really doing is tracking Yone's Q cooldown, along with realizing he's going to use it the moment it's up because he's getting closer and closer to my tower. There's no reason for him to hold it. He doesn't want to take any tower shots. So when I know his Q is coming up, where he can use the tornado, I start moving to the side preemptively. This may seem like it's Yone specific, but it can be applied to almost any skill shot, but some other tricks or concepts can be involved. Let's use something like Kennen Q and Jay's Q. I will never try to react to these abilities, they move too fast. Instead, they both can be avoided easier with the same concept. Jay's Q is easier to land if you're standing in the minions, and Kennen Q doesn't go through minions, so one of the best ways is to walk towards the wave, then turn around preemptively. Skill shots all have their own tricks to avoid, but the point is, it's very, very rarely a reaction thing. Anyways, getting back to the all-in, the moment Yone takes the bait and jumps in with Q, I ignite because he's dead. I was actually recording this game for Skullcapped, so you can listen in on what I was thinking in real time.
Yeah, he trolled really hard there. Like, see, I could have stood in my wave and fought him, but I had a feeling he was gonna like jump into the wave. So not only did I sidestep it, but he's jumping into the wave anyway, so even if I get hit.
So yeah, the sidestep on the Yone Q wasn't even necessary. He was dead regardless. That's how big the misplay was. Especially when I have Ignite. This is what I mean by adapting to the situations. Adapting to the matchup, the rune choices, summoner spell choices, and even player tendencies. Based off the information we got from level 1, I knew he would jump into my wave, so I just baited it. Alright, now I'm going to skip ahead a little bit to show you a fight where I use multiple concepts that we talked about earlier. When I get back to lane, I have 2 kills. My Ignite is up and we're both level 5. First, notice I'm not just jumping in or anything. I still have to respect the fact that he has lethal tempo and he has a big wave. But I know he's going to look for something. So I'm ready for him to use E like this, and Q. Then I can use my E to dodge it. He used E and W there, 2 big cooldowns. So now it's my turn to try and trade as I didn't use my most important ability, my W. When he walks up for the CS, he uses Q to grab them, which is great for me. He should Q me and auto the CS. When I saw this, I knew I could look for a kill here. For the rest of this all in, I'm constantly tracking Yone Q cooldown as well as I can, while taking into account lethal tempo. The concept we talked about earlier, to dodge his Q like I do here, it's preemptive movement, not reaction. And every time he misses, that's my window to try and hit him with an ability. I don't want to use my abilities before then, because then I'm locked in an animation where he can easily land his Q, and this applies to any skill shot. But after I hit him with my Q, look how I move in position. He has lethal tempo, so I can't trade autos, but I don't want to just disengage, as I can kill him with my next rotation. So I stay near him, but continue to try and bait out his Qs. Since I know the kind of player he is, I know he won't back off here, and his wave being there will make him want to fight. Then I use the same concept that I used at level 1, where I walk at him and preemptively jump to the side with E to dodge that Q, then I hit him with my W, but he's in the wave, so I can't hit him with my second E. Now it's back to respecting his lethal tempo and kiting away, tracking his Q cooldown. He hit me with this one, so now I'm preemptively moving for the next one. As soon as he misses, that's it. Just like when he used Q in my wave at level 2, that right there basically sealed his fate. Even if he landed that, I could still kill him, but now it's impossible for him to kill me. So I just chase him down and don't waste Ignite and get the free kill. A big takeaway here is how the concepts I'm using at level 1 apply to any time I'm fighting Yone, and can apply to almost any other matchup if you actually think about the concepts. If you have mobility and they have skill shots, using your mobility to go in and dodge a skill shot is optimal, as you don't give them time to back off and respect the fact that they missed. Now, one last thing to show you an example of adapting to player tendencies, although this takes a good amount of knowing your limits. So after I kill him, I shove the waves on the tower, standard stuff. I could, and a lot of the time should, recall here to spend my gold, but like I said earlier, this Yone likes to fight. So in my mind, I have a good feeling I can use my half HP to bait him, even though he has no chance of killing me when my ult is up, and I still have Ignite. So instead of recalling, I stay in the brush, and when he walks up, I take his ult and jump in for a quick trade. I kite into my wave after this and try to make sure he can't just spam auto me with lethal tempo, while also weaving in some abilities, and just like that, he's this low already. I could have even ignited here for another kill. This was a perfect example of abusing player tendencies. I know he can't kill me and knew it would bait a player like this into jumping in, and now he's totally screwed again. He has his third Q ready though, so I just sit barely out of range of it now. If he tries to hit me with it, I'll just use my R. He lets it time out though, so now I'm just waiting for him to go for a last hit, and as soon as he does, I press R and get the kill. Alright, for this next game, I'm playing Cassio vs Malphite. Malphite has Ignite with Comet, and I think we all know how obnoxious a Malphite lane can be with his Q poke. Right off the bat, you can see how I'm adapting by starting Corrupting Potion, even though I normally wouldn't on Cassio. Corrupting Pot gives me a lot of mana and health sustain. The health sustain is obvious for his poke, but the mana sustain is also important because he doesn't have TP, meaning I can look to bully him out of the lane. As laning starts, I'm focused on 2 main things: pushing the wave and making sure if Malphite ever walks up to use Q on me, I hit him with autos and E. I would never give him a free Q, and I see low elo players let Malphite's Q all the time with no return damage. But by pushing the wave, not only will I get the standard level advantages and minion advantages, but I also get the luxury of being able to easily recall if I do end up taking too much poke. I can just crash the wave and reset without losing anything since I'm the one pushing, and you can do this in any matchup on any champ. But as the next wave gets here, again, anytime Malphite uses Q, I hit him with as many autos and E's as I can. If I didn't have Corrupting Potion, I would run out of mana trying to do this. As I'm getting close to level 2, I move up, then level up and immediately go in since he's not respecting it, just like every other player in this elo I noticed. And since I have the mana for Corrupting Pot, I can punish this without running out of mana entirely. As the third wave gets here, you can listen into what I was thinking, as it's actually an important concept that I will explain.
Alright, we've made good progress. He has a D shield? I lost that trade and he had a D shield? This game's doggy. If he uses Q for CS, we're looking real good. Or he just gives it, which is fine.
So the big one is, notice I wasn't zoning him off the wave even though I easily could. I was giving him the option to potentially walk up for CS, or even use Q for CS. If he does that, that's a huge waste of mana. Giving your opponent the chance to make a mistake is very important in low elo. Anyways, now I crash the wave and start harassing him. Until the enemy jungler Singed, yes, Singed jungle, ganks me. This is why I brought Ghost. I pop my Ghost and kite away. I should have kited to my Lee Sin here, but my awareness was poor. I wasn't focused enough like I should have been. But I tried to bait Singed into the pit for Lee to jump over, but either way, Lee got the kill on Malphite. This is where adapting and knowing that he used Ignite on Lee is super important. I'm gonna recall come back to lane, where he has a big wave and is level 5 while I'm level 4. I can't fight him in that wave, so I have to wait for it to crash to get rid of these. Now that the wave is reset, I'm still gonna do the same thing as before. If he ever uses Q on me, I need to punish him and use my potion to make sure I have enough mana for all ins and to stay healthy. And remember, I know he doesn't have Ignite. So I know if I stay healthy like this and keep my mana above 50%, if he tries to fight, I will win 100%. With Ignite, he actually has a chance to kill me. When I go in here, in my mind, like I said, I know he can't kill me, so I thought I was getting ganked. As soon as Singe didn't show up though, I run Malphite down for the kill. And you can see he actually did a lot of damage there, and that's with my Conqueror healing, my E healing, my potions running. So if he had Ignite, he could definitely have a chance of killing me or at least trading 1 for 1.
Alright guys, before we wrap this up, let's tell you a little more about Skill Capped. So, we offer a 5-division rank up guarantee, and think that's a pretty crazy thing to offer. It's like a gym membership guaranteeing you'll get ripped. Your local gym would go bust if they offered that, right? Not us. We've offered this for years because our service really does work. It works so well, in fact, that we're able to produce by far the largest catalog of premium league guides on the internet. We add over 20 videos a week, with over 1,600 guides curated into over 100 courses no one can compare. We've also sent challenger players into ELO Hell 714 times and counting, where they commentate how to carry live. They also respond to all questions asked. Sign up today for as little as $6.99 a month if you are serious about improving.
Alright guys, so as you can see, you have to be able to adapt to a bunch of different things in League. Items, summoner spells, runes, matchups, player tendencies. Things are constantly changing, so you need to not autopilot and play the same way every game and adapt. But that's going to bring us to the end of this one. We hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.